What's up, guys? Welcome to the first episode of a show that I'm going to call Chris's Corner. The reason why I'm calling it that is because even though my wife and I watch a lot of TV together, there's some shows that she watches that I don't, and some shows that I watch that she has absolutely no interest in. One of those shows is a show I'm going to talk about today called Into The Badlands. Into The Badlands is kind of like a post-apocalyptic show about these barons, and it has martial arts in it, a lot of fighting. It's kind of bloody at times, which is kind of cool if you're into that. But if you like martial arts, I feel like you're going to like this show. What I want to do first, before I talk about the first episode of Season 2, is talk about what happened on the last episode of last season. Because if you're like me, by the time Season 2 comes around, I've seen so many shows that I really can't remember what happened on the last episode. And they don't always do a recap. So, anyways, what happens is Sonny and his girl Vale, they're trying to figure out a way to actually leave the Badlands. And so Sonny has arranged for them to try to leave, and his Baron, Quinn, finds out about Sonny's plot to try to leave and overthrow him, in a sense, and he throws Sonny into, I guess you could call it a dungeon. It might as well be a dungeon. He's chained up in a dark place, so we're going to just say it's a dungeon. So, meanwhile, the Baron is trying to take MK under his wing. Now, MK is kind of what the show is centered around a little bit. He has this special ability that when he gets cut, he unleashes this awesome power. He is using Kung Fu, but it makes him way stronger. It's like a mutant ability almost. So the Baron is trying to use that to his advantage, of course. Now, the Baron's son, Ryder, is also trying to overthrow the Baron. The Baron did take Ryder's girl, so I can't say that I really blame him for that. So, Quinn and MK are going to the dolls, which is kind of like another word for prostitutes, and Quinn is going to treat MK to, his first wicking is what they call it. On the way there, they get ambushed by the people that, Ryder's working with to try to overthrow his daddy. Now, instead of fighting these people himself, the Baron decides that he's just going to cut MK and let him unleash his power and destroy everybody. So, while he's watching from the shadows like a coward, he finds out that Sonny has escaped from the dungeon and stabs him in the stomach. But we don't see the Baron die. We just see him get stabbed. So, during the battle, some monks show up, and when they get there, a battle of epic proportions takes place. And Sonny tries to jump in to that battle, but he gets his ass whooped. An ass whooping that would probably have killed just about anybody else. Because it turns out that the monks have MK's power, but they can utilize it without getting cut, which is kind of awesome. So, in the next scene, we see Vale come to where the battle took place at, and she finds Sonny's sword, but she doesn't find his body. So, you can assume that somebody has taken him, which is the case. You see Sonny chained up in a boat and talking to the creepy-ass boatman that was supposed to take him and Vale out of the Badlands. But the boatman now knows that Sonny didn't do what he asked him to do in order for him to deliver them. So he says that Sonny is going to pay for it. So that's pretty much how the first season ends. Season 2 starts 6 months after that. So we see Sonny in a chain gang, and he's being led into a mine. So I guess that's where the creepy-ass boatman dropped him off at to punish him for double-crossing him. And now he is about to be enslaved, in a way, by another creepy-ass looking dude who's in charge of the mine. MK seems to be in a much better place than Sonny. He's actually at, I guess you could call it a monastery, because there are monks there. They call them the abbots. And he's actually training and learning how to utilize his power. He really hasn't started learning anything yet. I think he's getting frustrated that he's been there for some time and hasn't actually met the master. So while Sonny is at the prison, he is dreaming about Vale and has a rude awakening. He wakes up and he's chained to Nick Frost, of all people. And I'm glad that Nick Frost is in the show. I'm a big fan of his. And I saw some trailer where he was actually doing some fighting and stuff, and it looked really cool, so I'm looking forward to that. Meanwhile, back at the monastery, like I said, MK's fed up with not meeting the master, so one night he decides to sneak into where he thinks the master is going to be at, and take it upon himself to meet the master. Of course, the master is a woman. Like, I felt like that was kind of predictable, the way they were leading up to it, because he kept on, or where's he, I want to meet him, and then he meets him, and it's a she. So, you probably can see that coming from a mile away. Now, while MK is with the master, he's fed up with his training, and he kind of wants to leave because he's not happy there. And she tells him basically, if he can get past her, then he can go. And once she cuts him with this little bird, this little paper bird, he, of course, unleashes his power, and she stops him, like, with her hand. He punches right into her hand, and she stops it with all her force. And so, of course, like, he can't beat her, so she uses these pressure point techniques to knock him down. And once he realizes that he has a lot to learn and he needs to stay, he leaves. But it appears that while stopping him with her hand, he hit her with so much force, her forearm, the bone in here, actually broke. And so she uses her power, it's like a mutant gift, to heal herself, like Wolverine style. So, cuts back to the mine again. The prisoners are rewarded for meeting their quota of, junk that they've dug up. So they're rewarded with, like, a fight night of sorts. And the prisoners that have to go into the fight against this giant dude are the ones who didn't meet their quota. So it's basically like a gladiator type thing, and they're in an arena, and he just destroys them. Stomps on one dude's head. It looked like his head exploded. So then we finally see what Ryder has been up to. Now that he's taken his father's position and he's got his girl back, they go to check out the oil refinery that he's taken from the widow. Unbeknownst to them, Tilda and the widow are waiting at the oil refinery to ambush them. They blow some stuff up, the ambush starts, and the widow lays waste to most of Ryder's men. And it's one of the bloodiest scenes I think I've seen on this show. Like, I love the way the widow fights because she is very ruthless. She is just destroying these dudes. And she beats everybody, and she's trying to get to the Baroness. And once she has killed everybody in her way, you think she might kill the Baroness, but she doesn't. She just leaves her with a message telling her to tell Ryder that she's taking back her oil refinery, and there will be no further discussion about it. So then after that, we briefly see that Sonny is trying to hatch a plan to get thrown into the fight night. I guess he thinks he's going to escape there somehow by doing that. And then MK gets special attention from the master. She's going to take over his training and teach him how to really harness the gift that he has. Oh, and he's kind of whiny right now, and I don't really like that. And I hope they don't make MK into a little whiny punk. I want to do Master. I hope they don't do that, because like some of these TV shows have a tendency to make you hate characters, and I like MK. I don't want to hate him. Now, towards the end of the episode, the mistress has been letting a lot of people that she's rescued from different places stay with her and everything like that. And I guess they think they're being forced to work for her, but she tells them that they're not, and they're free to go if they so decide to. But some of the Clippers, they decide to leave, and they're very disrespectful. You can see it in Tilda's face that she does not like the disrespect that they show to her mother. So Tilda and her crew decide to surprise these guys once they get down the road a little bit. And one of the guys, like the widow said we were free to go, And Tilda was like, but you're not, dog. Because I didn't like the way that you treated those dolls, the prostitutes. Because, the Clippers used to do whatever they wanted to the dolls, and the dolls told Tilda that. So Tilda and her crew killed them all because of what they did in the past. Back at the mine, Nick Frost appears to have sold out Sonny, and he told the creepy mine boss that Sonny is a Clipper, and I don't know what advantage that's going to give to him, because I really hope there's some other plot at play here. I just don't know what it's going to be yet. But the last scene, we see a little baby, a really newborn baby. Somebody's holding the baby. You can't see who it is. And then they hand the baby to Vale. So this is the first time we see Vale in this episode. And she's happy to see her baby and blah, blah, blah. Then her look kind of turns to a look of concern. And the camera pans around. And the Baron, Quinn, is standing right there, and he's still alive. He looks good, alive and well, so obviously Sonny didn't do that much damage when he ran him through with the sword before. So that's the end of the first episode of Season 2. They show some clips of what's going to be coming later on in the season. It looks really good. There's probably more wire work this season than last season. There was a lot of wire work last season, but I don't mind that personally. I like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Some people don't like that. If you don't like that, then you're not going to like this, because there's a lot of flying and people staying in the air way too long and just all kind of stuff like that. But I don't mind it. Like I said, I think it makes the show interesting. So, anyways, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you guys next time.